Hello friends. Welcome to my kitchen. Let's start with 3 pieces of beef. Gently pat them dry on both sides using paper towels. It may seem like a small detail, but it makes a real difference. Removing excess moisture allows the meat to sear properly, creating a rich, deep flavor instead of just cooking in its own juices. Season it with a pinch of ground nutmeg. Then add salt. Friends, it's wonderful to know where you're watching from. Share your city and country, and US friends, tell me your state as well. And finally, ground black pepper. Gently work the seasoning into the meat with your hands, pressing it in so it's evenly distributed and settles into every cut. This helps the flavor develop more fully in each bite. Repeat on the other side. A small, familiar step many of us remember from watching our mom or grandmother cook, learning by simply standing nearby. Season it with a pinch of ground nutmeg. Then add salt, ground black pepper. If you have any questions about the recipe, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments, and I'll reply as soon as I can. Then add about 1/4 stick or 30 grams of butter. Let it melt gently over medium heat. Butter adds richness, while the oil keeps it from burning. While the butter is melting, pour 1 tablespoon of flour onto a plate. Lightly coat each piece of beef on all sides, shaking off any excess. This thin layer helps create a beautiful crust, and later gives the sauce a nice silky texture. Place the beef into the pan. Make several light scores across the surface of the meat, following the pattern shown in the video. This keeps the beef from tightening up and helps it cook evenly in the pan. Friends, if you enjoyed the video, a like would be much appreciated. It's the best way to support me. Fry over medium heat for about 5 minutes on each side until a golden crust forms. Take your time here. A good crust means deep flavor. Once browned, remove the meat from the pan. Friends, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more recipes like this one. Next, add a little vegetable oil to a frying pan. Then add about 1/4 stick or 30 grams of butter. Let it melt gently over medium heat. Dice 2 onions into cubes. Take your time with this step. Slow, even cuts help the onions cook evenly later. Onions are rich in natural antioxidants and have long been the base of many classic, nourishing dishes that bring warmth and depth to the whole meal. Add them to the pan and sauté gently, stirring slowly. As they warm up, the onions turn soft and naturally sweet, releasing that familiar aroma that fills the kitchen and instantly feels comforting. Next, dice 1 carrot into small cubes. Take your time with this step. The gentle sound of the knife and that familiar orange color always remind me of my mother's kitchen, where carrots were chopped slowly, without rush, while something warm simmered on the stove. Add the carrot to the pan. Stir gently and let it cook, allowing those quiet, comforting flavors to come together. Now dice 2 celery stalks. Celery doesn't demand attention, but without it, the sauce never feels complete. Its fresh, clean aroma quietly lifts everything, making the dish lighter and more balanced. Just like in the slow, thoughtful cooking our mothers and grandmothers trusted. Add the celery to the pan and stir gently, letting it soften and release its subtle fragrance. Finely chop 2 heads of garlic. As the knife touches the cloves, that deep, familiar aroma fills the air. Warm, comforting, and instantly recognizable. It's the smell that used to pull everyone into the kitchen, asking what was cooking. Add the garlic to the pan and stir slowly. Let it cook just until fragrant, not rushed, so it stays sweet, soft, and full of its natural goodness. Season the vegetables with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Mix everything well so the seasoning spreads evenly and every vegetable is coated. Then add salt, ground black pepper, now pour in 300 milliliters of semi-sweet wine. Stir and let it simmer for a few minutes. This allows the alcohol to cook off and leaves a deep, pleasant flavor. Moments like this always feel calm and reassuring. Watching the sauce gently bubble, knowing something special is coming together. Return the beef to the pan, placing it gently on top of the vegetables. Pour 500 milliliters of broth over everything. Broth adds nourishment and depth, slowly infusing the meat with warmth and comfort. Add a couple of bay leaves, 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, and a small pinch of cloves. These spices bring a familiar, cozy aroma, the kind many of us remember from family kitchens and Sunday meals. Cover with a lid and let it simmer on low heat for about 30 minutes. Slow cooking keeps the meat tender and juicy, giving the flavors time to develop fully and naturally. After 30 minutes, remove the bay leaves and cloves. Carefully take the meat out of the pan and set it aside. Then add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste to the sauce. Stir well until the sauce becomes smooth, rich, and evenly colored. Tomato paste adds both body and warmth, bringing everything into balance. Place the meat back into the pan. Spoon the vegetables over it. Now pour in 200 milliliters of wine. Cover with a lid again and let everything simmer for another 30 minutes. This final step makes the meat incredibly soft and deeply flavorful. While the meat finishes cooking, let's prepare the garnish. Place 4 medium potatoes into a pot. Cover with water. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. Cover with a lid and boil until the potatoes are tender. Check them by piercing with a knife. If it goes in easily, they're ready. Drain the water completely. While the potatoes are still warm, grate them on a medium grater. Warm potatoes give a smoother dough and are easier to work with. This step often brings back memories of quiet kitchens, when cooking felt unhurried and calm. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, then 1 egg. Mix well. Eggs help bind the dough and add gentle richness. Now add 7 tablespoons of flour, a little at a time. Mix gently until you get a soft, slightly sticky dough. It should be easy to shape but still tender. This is the secret to light, delicate dumplings. Lightly flour your work surface. Divide the dough in half. Roll each half into a long, even log. As you shape it, enjoy the rhythm of the movement. These small, steady motions are part of what makes home cooking so grounding. Cut into small pieces. Gently shape the dumplings. There's something very comforting about forming them by hand, knowing each one will be part of a shared meal. Pour water into a pot. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. Bring it to a boil. Carefully drop the dumplings into the boiling water. Cook for about 3 minutes until they float to the surface. Remove them gently with a slotted spoon. Now it's time to serve. Arrange the tender beef, slowly stewed in a rich tomato and wine sauce, onto a warm plate. Place the soft potato dumplings alongside, ready to soak up every drop. Spoon the glossy aromatic sauce generously over both the meat and the dumplings. This is a deeply comforting dish, hearty, fragrant, and full of slow-cooked flavor. The kind of meal that fills the kitchen with warmth, gathers everyone at the table, and feels like true care on a plate. Thank you for cooking with me today. But don't go just yet. There's another cozy and tasty recipe I'd love to share with you. In a large bowl, add 2 pounds or 900 grams of ground beef. Crack 2 eggs into it. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Next, grate 1 onion. Friends, it's wonderful to know where you're watching from. Share your city and country, and US friends, tell me your state as well. Add it to the bowl. Then, finely chop 1 bunch of fresh parsley. That touch of green brings brightness and a hint of freshness to balance the rich meat. Add it in too. Mix everything well by hand, just like our mothers and grandmothers used to. There is something grounding about mixing with your hands, feeling the ingredients come together, knowing you are building something delicious from scratch. Now, let's prepare the side dish. Place 5 medium potatoes into a pot. Fill the pot with water until the potatoes are fully submerged. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, cover with a lid. Cook over medium heat for 30 to 40 minutes. While the potatoes cook, spread the seasoned ground beef onto a large sheet of parchment paper. Feel free to ask any questions about the recipe in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I see them. Shape it into a large, even square. Take your time with this step. Try to keep the thickness even, pressing gently with your hands or a spatula. I always find this part so calming. There is something satisfying about shaping the meat, seeing it take form, knowing you are building the foundation for something hearty and homemade. Now, let's make the filling. In a pan, melt half a stick or 60 grams of butter over medium heat. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking it. It's a simple way to show your support. Grate 2 cloves of garlic on a mini grater. Garlic has this way of waking up the kitchen, warm, bold, and comforting all at once. Add it to the melted butter. Sauté just until fragrant. Let that beautiful smell spread through the room. Next, dice 2 carrots into small cubes. Their bright orange color already brings a little sunshine to the cutting board. They are also packed with beta-carotene, which is wonderful for keeping our eyes strong. Friends, for more content like this, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss any new recipes. Add them to the pan. Let the carrots sizzle gently in that buttery garlic. Then dice one red bell pepper into small cubes. This vibrant vegetable adds a natural sweetness and a beautiful ruby color that makes the dish look so appetizing. Add it to the pan. Stir to combine. Dice one green bell pepper into cubes as well. It brings a fresh, slightly crisp flavor that balances the sweetness of the carrots and red pepper perfectly. Add it to the pan. Stir well. The mix of red and green looks so festive and vibrant. Sauté until the vegetables are tender. Remove the pan from the heat. Spread the vegetable mixture evenly over the ground beef square. Then pour olive oil into a pan. Finely chop 7 ounces or 200 grams of mushrooms. Mushrooms are such a gift from nature. Low in calories, but full of vitamins. They are also rich in antioxidants that help support our immune system, keeping us strong and healthy. Add them to the hot pan. Fry them until they turn golden. As they sizzle, they release a deep, comforting aroma. Next, finely chop 150 grams of spinach. Adding fresh greens is such a simple way to bring extra color and nutrients to the table, making the meal feel complete. Add it to the mushrooms. Fry everything together for about 5 minutes. The spinach adds a lovely earthy note that pairs perfectly with the mushrooms. Spread this mixture on top of the meat and carrots. Now, grate 5 ounces or 150 grams of Emmental cheese. I love using Emmental for its gentle, nutty flavor and the way it melts so beautifully. Sprinkle it evenly over the meat and vegetables. Form the roll carefully using the parchment paper to guide you. Ensure all that delicious filling stays tucked safely inside. It feels like wrapping up all those wonderful flavors and memories into one beautiful package to share with the people you love. Next, let's make the marinade. In a small bowl, mix 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of grain Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of honey, stir until smooth. The scent is sweet and savory all at once. It is the kind of aroma that makes you look forward to the first bite. Brush the roll with half of the marinade using a brush. This glossy coating will caramelize slowly as it bakes, infusing the meat with a rich, savory sweetness that is simply irresistible. Wrap the roll tightly in the foil. Place it in a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Bake for 1 hour. While the roll is baking, check the potatoes. Pierce one with a knife to ensure it is soft. Mash the potatoes until smooth. Working with warm potatoes ensures a perfect velvety texture without any lumps. It takes me back to holiday dinners, where the mashed potatoes were always the star of the table, fluffy and comforting. Finely chop 1 bunch of green onions. Their fresh, sharp scent cuts through the richness and adds a beautiful pop of green to the pot. Add them to the potatoes. Finely chop 1 clove of garlic. This little addition brings a gentle warmth and a savory kick that wakes up the whole dish. Add it to the potatoes. Grate 2 ounces or 60 grams of Parmesan cheese. Parmesan adds a wonderful salty, nutty flavor that makes the mash taste incredibly rich and elegant. Add it to the potatoes. Then add 2 tablespoons of Philadelphia cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, mix everything thoroughly until creamy and fluffy. The heat melts the cheeses instantly, blending all those flavors into a smooth, luxurious side dish. When there are 10 minutes left, remove the roll from the oven. Open the foil. Brush the roll with the remaining marinade. This final glaze adds a deep, glossy shine and creates that perfect sticky finish that everyone loves. Return it to the oven, uncovered, for another 10 minutes to get a beautiful golden crust. Remove the roll from the oven. Slice it into pieces. Just look at those beautiful layers. The vibrant vegetables and melted cheese look stunning against the juicy meat, promising a bite full of rich, savory goodness. It is a masterpiece of home cooking that tastes even better than it looks. Serve it with the creamy mashed potatoes. This is a truly satisfying meal that instantly warms the soul. I truly hope this dish fills your home with the same joy and cozy comfort that it brings to my family. Thank you for cooking with me today.